Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I still remain your statistics tutor, Dr. Olamiposi. Okay. During our last class, we talked about statistics in general, and I would like to talk to you about the learning outcome for this course. At the end of the course, as many students that is following us on this channel should have basic understanding about fundamental of statistical tools under the following: in terms of sources and collection of data, summarization and presentation of data, and also choice of statistical tests for any of your research or study. Let us dive into the word statistics now. What exactly is statistics? Just like we said during our last class, we said it's just like collection, organization, summarizing data. Statistics is defined as the science, so it's like a science which involves the collecting, the organizing, the summarizing, the presentation, analysis, and drawing conclusions from data. In a situation whereby you have a research that you are working on, you have to collect the data first. It's after the collection of the data that you can organize it. After organizing, then you summarize it. So this is like, statistics is like a step-by-step method that involves the collection, organization, summarization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation, that is drawing conclusions from data. We have two major broad dimensions of statistics, and that means we have the descriptive statistics and differential statistics. So in statistics, we just have two major broad: descriptive and inferential statistics. What is descriptive statistics? It's just from the word descriptive, to describe. That is just about descriptive statistics. That is, you are using statistical methods that deals with description of characteristics of a population. Just like we said in our last class, we talk about trying to take the height of all the students in your country. So it's just the description of the characteristics. The characteristics here is the height of the students of a finite population, which means your country. Then we have the methods for presenting and summarizing data. So in descriptive statistics, we have method of presenting and summarizing data. It's not about just the collection and the organization alone. There should be a means whereby you want to present your data, or you want to summarize your data for even a layman to understand, in terms of use of table, graph, charts, or number. And the second broad dimension of statistics is inferential statistics. Inferential statistics is used to reach a conclusion about a population-based or sampled information of that population. It's just drawing inferences from data. So that means inferential statistics help us to draw conclusion about a population from sampled information of that population. I'll still go back to my example. The average height of students in your country. Doing that might be somehow tasky and very difficult and time consuming. The best thing to do is probably to look for just a college and look for the average height of number of students in your college. With that, you can use it to draw conclusion from the average height of students in your college. Then you can use it to generalize that to the whole population of your country. This involves estimation in terms of confidence interval and hypothesis testing. So, why do you need knowledge of statistics? In our last class, I said everybody use statistics. It's just like doctor trying to know the type of treatment that can work for a particular disease. And remember, I also said even psychologists, they use statistics know the behavioral pattern, and also entrepreneur to know the advert that works. So why statistics? The need for statistics, well, is for evaluation of the literature, for you to be able to gather evidence that people have worked on in the past. Then you evaluate it. Then application of your study results. After the evaluation of evidences, you need to apply your study results. Then whether you want to participate in research projects. Also statistics. Why statistics? For decision making and forecasting. It can really help us to look into the future after making your decision now. It can help you to predict or to forecast about the future, and also to sort out variations. Quote that word, variations. Why variations? Variations beget statistics. Knowledge of statistics is essentially to sort out and explain variations in data. And we have different types of variation. We have the random one and we have the systematic one. The random one is those ones that you cannot control. It cannot be controlled. This include maybe inherent biological, physiological, anatomical, biochemical, or behavioral. Is there a way you want to control a physiological part of the people? No. You cannot control the anatomical part as well. But when it comes to systematic, this can be controlled, which can be in terms of instruments, observer, the subject, the environment. These are types of variation, the random and systematic. So I would also like us to look at some basic terminologies in statistics. Statistics and data are two entities that are not separable. You cannot separate them. What is data? Data generally consists of numbers of measurements or counts of a population sample. What do I mean by that? Look at in a situation whereby a nurse is trying to weigh a patient, or takes a patient's temperature, or counts the number of patients in a ward. You can see that that measurement consists of a number. When it talks about weight, that means maybe like 70 kilograms. The patient weighs 70 kilograms, or maybe the patient temperature is 35 degrees centigrade, or there are number of 20 patients in the ward. You can see that data consists of numbers, of measurements, or counts of a population sample. Another word that is very important in statistics is variable. What are variable? What is variable? Variable is the characteristics of interest. So if you can just get that, the thing that you have in mind to do, that your interest, is what is called variable. If when observed, it takes different values at different units. Variable can be in terms of name. It can be in terms of age. Definitely we have different age. And the unit for age is years. Look at the situation of weight. The units for weight is different from the units from age. That's why we say different values at different units. For weight, we have kg or gram, and the units for height is quite different from the weight. We have meter, we have inches, that is for height, and also PCV. All these are examples of variable, if and only if your interest lies on them. Now, variables can be of two types. It can be qualitative or quantitative. It can be dependent or independent. We'll still talk more about this. Variables are the characteristics of interest that, if when you observe, it takes different values and different units. And there are different types of data or variable. We have qualitative and quantitative. Let's look at this together. Types of data or variable. Just like I mentioned before, we have qualitative, which we can also call categorical data. We have quantitative, which can also be called numerical data. What are qualitative? Look at the word qualitative from the word quality. That means something like an attribute. Look at the word qualitative from the word categorical. That is in category. Is as a result of describing or categorizing. Something that is an attribute of good quality cannot take numerical values. Qualitative, categorical. Example of such are sex and blood group. We can't say sex is 1 or 2, 3 or 4. No, it's either male or female. Also for the blood group, we can't say that man is blood group 1. No, it's either O positive, B, O negative, and the likes. So that is qualitative, which implies attributes or quality. Let's look at the other types of data, which is quantitative in nature. Quantity. From the word quantity, that is numerical in nature, something that you can quantify. This implies amount or quantity. It is as a result of counting or measuring. Something you can quantify is something that you can count, something that you can measure, that is measurable. Definitely when you count something, it's either it takes numerical value. When you measure something, it takes numerical values, and this can be in discrete or continuous. What do we mean by discrete or continuous? We said the numerical variable which may be discrete or continuous. Discrete are whole numbers. We remember our simple arithmetic back then in school. We have integer values. Discrete cannot take fractions. Is there a way you can say there are 3.5 doctors in that hospital? Where is the half coming from? It's not possible. That's the word discrete. So it must take whole numbers. But we can easily say, oh, in that hospital, we have 5 doctors. Also, let's look at continuous. Something continuous. That is continuity. It can assume any value between any 2 points on the real number line. I remember we did real number during our simple arithmetic back then in school. That is, it can have fractions. Something like height, something like weight. We can easily say my weight is 60.7 kilogram and my height is 17.5 centimeter. So these are the 2 numerical variables, and we say it can either be discrete or continuous. Also, I want us to talk about types of variable. We talked about types of data. We said quantitative or qualitative. Let's look at types of variable. Types of variable are also of 2 types. Something that is independent. Independent, what you can change. And dependent is what you observed. So in statistics, we have 2 major types of variable. 2 types of variable. It's either they are independent or dependent. Independent is usually referred to as predictor or explanatory variable. Predicting the outcome. Predicting the dependent variable. Predicting what you are observing. And why dependent is what I observed, which is usually referred to as response or outcome variable. Also, I want us to look at population. These are basic terminologies in statistics, like I said the other time. Population, sample, parameter, and statistic. Not statistics now. What is population? Population is that thing that you have interest in. That is the total collection of entities or units in which we have interest. Is the total collection of that thing that you are interested in. And what is sample? It's just a fractional part of the population. Just like the case of average height of students in college and average height of students in your country. In your country is the whole population. The sample is that fractional part, that is a particular college or 5 colleges in your country which serve as the whole population. And we have the parameter. We have measure. What is parameter? Parameter is actually measure obtained by using all the data values in the population. So in a situation whereby you are dealing with the whole population, that measure that you obtained is called parameter. But when it comes to statistic, the measure that you obtained from sample is called a statistic. Please note this: measure obtained from a sample is called statistic, and parameter is measure obtained from population, whereby sample is a fractional part of the population and population is the total collection of entities in which you are interested in. Thank you. This will be the end of our class for today. See you next time on this channel. But I will implore you to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. Kindly subscribe. Bye.